Hello, I'm Shauna Sue, and this is 10-Minute Technique Tuesday. So today we're going to talk about flowers. All the flowers that I do on my paintings are very whimsical. They're not super realistic, but they're just enough that we know what they are. My theory when it comes to flowers is I always want to have a ton of color, just a riot of stuff happening, and not spend a lot of time on a real specific individual flower. Sometimes I'll do that, but not that often. It's usually a bunch of flowers together. So I want to talk really quickly about the brushes that we use for flowers. I have a whole bunch of stuff going on here. So brushes are really important when it comes to flowers because that helps you identify what shape your petal is going to be. I see people do certain things, and we'll talk about that in a minute when I show you, but I see people do certain things and they don't think a lot about what the brush is going to do for them. So if I were going to do if I were going to make a tulip, for example, I might want a brush like this. We know I love my Filbert, right? So I love this brush because it's flat, but it's rounded at the top. And I can think about, this is what I want the end of my flower petals to look like. My flower petals always start on the ends and then I pull down into the middle. People will, I alluded to a moment ago, people will start at the middle and pull out, and that makes your flower a fan. But if I think about the shape of this, that's the shape I want the outside of my tulip petal to be, and I'll pull it down into the middle. What if I have flower petals that are flat out at the edge? Like some daisies, they're flat, and then they pull in. What if I have a flower that has little teeny tiny petals? I would use something like this. I never get rid of old brushes because they can always be used for something. What if you have a little brush that has seen better days and just won't hold its act together anymore? You can use this. You load this up with paint. This would make a magnificent daisy. Oh, what about this guy? He is all dried out and crazy and really can't hold it together anymore. I'm not going to throw him away though, because what if I wanted something very abstract, like the painting we're going to do this weekend? We know it's a lilac, but it'll have lots of little splotches of color. I could use this guy all splayed out and dab, 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 and not worry about damaging him because the damage has already been done, but he's still a good brush to use to load up with paint and dab, dab, dab. What if, Filbert, I have a small Filbert, right? It's a Filbert because it's rounded on the ends, but it's flat. It's thin, I should say, but it's rounded on the end. So I love this Filbert because I can use it flat ways. I can turn it and use it skinny ways. And I can do all kinds of magic things. So I have so many brushes. I want to get to painting and show you what it's all about. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. The first brush that I talked about is this big Filbert. It's big enough you might see it referenced as an oval wash. Again, it's thin, it's skinny, but it's rounded on the ends. Now, if I take this guy, let's do a big pretty pink flower, and I load it up with some red, and then I do a little swipe of white. I'm thinking about the shape of this brush, and I'm going to pull down to the middle. So if I want to do a tulip, I'm going to push that and come down to the middle. What if I do another petal here? Oh, push and pull down. And what if I do another petal here? Push and pull down to the middle. Look at that simple little tulip. What if I could take a little more white if I wanted and go back to the end of this petal and just pull a little bit of white? Oh, that's pretty. Pull a little bit. That's a fun, simple little tulip. What if I'm using the same brush, but what if I turn it and I use it skinny ways? So I'm going to load it up again with some red. Again, I have a lot of paint on there. And I'm going to take a little chunk of white. And what if this time, instead of using it flat, what if I turn it and I use it skinny? Pull down. I'm going to push and pull down and push and pull down. Oh, maybe one more. Maybe this one's a little more open. Push, pull down. Look how fun that is. You could also, I've got a lot of red on there, so I'm going to wipe some of that off. And I'm going to take, with that little bit of red on my brush, what if now I take just white? And what if I want to look like I can kind of see the inside of that tulip? So what if I start here at the same point, but just down a little? And I pull down, and I pull down, and I pull down, and down. Now you can almost imagine that you can see the center of your flower. If I put a little bit of black right there, or maybe a little bit of red will do. What if I put a little bit of red right there just to shadow it? Now you can imagine that I can see front petals and I can see back petals. I could even add a little more white like I did before and accentuate the front of those petals just a little bit more. Oh, look how lovely that is. Okay, so that's what I can do with this big brush, right? Now I always want to finish those flowers by putting the stems on them. So what if I have my pointy brush with a little bit of green, maybe a little white, maybe a little yellow, because we know I love lime green, right? So phthalo green, yellow, and white, they're going to give me a lovely lime color. And I need to do a little cup right here that's going to hold my tulip. I'm doing a little pull, 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 pull. A little more green, a little more yellow, a little more white. This will be more, it would make more sense if I let this flower dry, but for the sake of this video, I want to show you. And I can pull down. Let's give the other one a little stem too. He looks lonely without a stem. Just doing little pull down brush strokes. So let's move on to a daisy type flower. For a daisy type flower, the first thing you have to do is put a center. The way that I took my brush and I identified the ends of my petals and pulled down to where that stem connects. Think about where a stem connects on a daisy. A stem connects on a daisy underneath that center yellow part. So I'm going to start, I have my flat brush, it's skinny, but it's flat on the end. I'm going to take just a little bit of yellow and put a little oval right there. Because I have to know if I'm going to start outside on my petals and pull them into the center where the stem would connect, I have to know where I'm pulling to. So I'm always going to put a center there to start with. Now I'm going to do a little pink daisy. I could do a white one, but it would be really hard to see on the white canvas, so let's do a pink one. So I'm going to get some red and a little swish of white. Now I can use this brush flat ways. I'm going to pull in and let go. Pull in and let go. I've kind of created a frown. I'm going to go straight down and pull up and let go. And then I'm going to fill in the gaps. So maybe one there and one there, something there, and something there. It's a little messy, but you get the idea. Then what I'll do is come back in with that brush, with that same brush, with a little yellow, a little white, and I'll fix my center. Okay. This is fun too. You can always take a little bit of maybe a little bit of red on the other end. You can mix a little bit of red down here at the bottom of that yellow. I'm just tap, 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 tapping there. Adding a little shade to the bottom of the center of that flower. Something fun you can do. Now you could also do a daisy if you want to see the whole thing. So I want to do the center again, so I know where I'm pulling to, and then some red for my pink daisy, some red and some white. And what if I turn my brush? I want to see the whole daisy this time, but what if I turn my brush and use it skinny ways? Not fat ways anymore, but use it skinny ways. Pull in and let go. Pull in and let go. I'm creating a plus. And then I'm going to fill in the gaps. I'm pushing and pulling in. Pushing and pulling in. Pushing and pulling in. And there we go. And then just like the tulip, I have to take my pointy brush with a little bit of green, maybe yellow, white, and figure out where my stem goes. Up there on that one, maybe it just kind of comes out of there. Okay? So that's a daisy. So I should have mentioned before with a daisy, you can always come back and fix that center. We'll have a tendency when we pull in, we'll pull right into that middle. That's okay. Let everything dry a little bit and then come back in and fix that middle. But you have to start with the middle so you know where you're pulling to. This little daisy right here, I feel like he needs a little leaf. Maybe another one. Oh, maybe another little leaf right there. There we go. I feel better about that. Okay, so there's another kind of flower. I'm going to show you 3 today because this is a lot to digest. There's another kind of flower that I absolutely love. I don't even know what it is. It's very abstract. You can make it look like grass, or you can make it look like more like flowers. What if I put some stems here? Look how I'm starting at the bottom and I'm pulling up and away so it comes up to a nice point. Some green, yellow, white. Man, I love that phthalo green, yellow, white. Ooh, that's pretty. That's nice. So now what if I take that pointy brush that it is so splayed out, no matter how I try right now to hold him together, he's not going to. I'm going to use that to my advantage. I'm going to load him up with paint. So I'm going to do pink. So I'm going to start with a lot of red. I've got it really loaded on there. And I'm going to swish right through the white. Swish. So I have white on the end, but there's red underneath. Now this kind of flower, think about where this goes. I have to start out here at this very tip. So I'm going to pull in. I'm going to go down a little and pull in, down, 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 down. That's fun. What if I did the same thing with my Filbert? I love a Filbert because it's so universal. It can do a lot of things. Again, it's thin, but it's rounded on the end. I'm going to take some red and a swish of white. And what if I use this Filbert first? What if I use it skinny ways? In and then to the left, to the right, left, right, left, right. Oh, that's lovely. I can do the same thing, but use that Filbert fat ways. Again, I'm loading up with red, swish of white, because I love that highlight, and then it gets deeper as it goes. I'm going to pull in. I'm using it fat ways this time. Oh, that's fun. Might have to reload. I'm running out of paint. But I love that. Okay, what if I did this same thing, but I did it with my big Filbert? So I have to put my stem in first. For this kind of flower, I have to put my stem in. So I'll give myself a stem there. I'm going to give myself a couple stems to play with here. One there, maybe another one up here. Okay, and then I'm going to take my bigger Filbert, also called an oval wash. I'm going to load that guy up with paint. Ah, yeah, load it up. Swish it through the white. And what if I do this, but with this Filbert? Go out to the end. The first one you have to pull straight in, straight down. And then I'm going to go left, down a little to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. I'm bumping down each time a little bit. Oh, that's fun. I accidentally almost made a heart there. Look at that. What if I do the same thing, but again, I turn it and I use it skinny ways. Red, get a little swish of white, use it skinny ways. Again, this stem goes straight up, so I have to pull straight down for my first one. And then left, down a little to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. Oh, that's fun. Imagine had I done that one in yellow, let that red dry a little bit, and then have a yellow one, and then maybe some orange in there. Ooh, that's for another day. What if I want to make just some little grasses? So I have those other two stems up high. I'm going to go to that same color. These, the same color as that. These almost look like little, I don't know, wheat or like little grass seed heads. So, and it's nice to just add those in to a flower arrangement. So I have some green, yellow, white. Same thing. Go out to the end, pull straight in, and then go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Let's do that again a little darker, a little more green. You have to follow it out to the end and then pull straight back in. One, and then left, right, left, right, left, right. And that's it. And then I have like little grass seed heads. So that's what I know about flowers. Okay, so I hope you found that helpful. I hope you could take away a couple little nuggets of information, a couple little tiny techniques to maybe help you think about how to paint flowers. So I will see you next week on 10-Minute Technique Tuesdays. Bye.